My name's Stefan Gates. I'm a TV presenter and an author, and my main obsession is how to get this country eating better. And to do that, you've got to start with kids. But to teach kids about nutrition and about the impact their food choices have on the world, you could try telling them, you could try explaining about carbohydrates and calories and things like that, but frankly, they couldn't care less. Because if you want to get through to kids, you've got to blow their minds. You've got to use friends like I've got here. Meet Stanley. So Stanley is a locust. Now, a locust might not spring to mind as the obvious thing to talk to kids about nutrition with, but you see, if you deep fried Stanley, he would taste really beautiful and beefy. So getting something out that's really dramatic, like Stanley, is a brilliant way of getting kids to suddenly think, wow, food can be exciting, it can be different, it can be something that might blow my mind. So that's the live one. I'm not going to eat Stanley there. I'm going to let him just wander off around the studio. Oh, he's off. But what I've got here is a pack of freeze-dried locusts, and these can be handed around to kids. And yeah, again, I'm not expecting kids to start eating insects on a massive scale, but it's a way to start changing perceptions and to get them to do something dramatic that will shift their perception. These are delicious. Oh, that one's quite nutty. Right. Lots of protein, lots of umami, all those really good flavours in there. So I've got a couple of things here to show you, which are ways of getting kids to think again about the stuff that they eat. Now, people might not have loads of locusts hanging around their house like I do, but you might have some really simple foods that you can blow kids' minds with. And sometimes it's that low-hanging fruit that will change kids' perception of what they think is interesting about food. Because what we want to do with kids more than anything is not to get them eating cabbage all the time, but to spread their diet over as many things as possible. Now, if you've got a red cabbage around your house, mince it up with a little bit of water in with a hand blender, and then put that through a sieve, and you get left over this beautiful, it's a sort of bright purpley coloured liquid. Now what we're going to do is take a little bit of that liquid and drop it into some water. It really helps to have a torch underneath this. Might take a little bit more. A little bit more. So this is just literally ordinary cabbage that I had in my fridge at home. And then it turns blue. It's really weird. You get this beautiful, beautiful ghostly blue colour out of it. Now, what I'm going to do is add a little bit of lemon juice. So this is all just food that you have knocking around your house. And look very closely at what happens. It turns bright pink, and that's because the red cabbage has something in it called anthocyanins, and anthocyanins are a pH indicator, which you might remember from doing litmus tests at school. So it's ever so slightly acidic. It's got citric acid in the lemon, and that acid has dissolved in all of this water and turned it bright pink because the anthocyanins from the red cabbage changed that colour. Now you can also switch it back. So you can't eat this, sadly. This is washing powder. It's the kind of most alkaline, easy thing I've got knocking around my house. You can do it with bicarbonate soda, but pop that in, it'll go back to being blue again. And you can stir it around, and slowly, slowly, you can just about see it at the bottom, it will start to turn green as well. And this is just the ordinary food that's hanging around your house. So you kind of need to be clever. You need to think all over again about how to talk to kids about food and dig out the stuff that's going to really blow their mind. For me, the most fascinating thing about food is when you scratch the surface of it and you discover the science that's underneath. Because basically, although you might not like the idea of it, food is chemicals, food is chemistry, cooking is chemistry and physics. But that's also where the fascination lies for me. And it doesn't take much scraping to find some things that are really quite mind-blowing. This is probably the coolest thing that I've discovered recently, and it turns me into a little kid really when I do it. Now, if you take some tonic water and shine an ultraviolet light at it, you'll find that it glows. It fluoresces under ultraviolet light. What I've got here is a sort of a quinine extract, which is really intense. So what I'm going to do is drop some of this into a big flask of water, and we can see what happens. Okay, the first thing we're going to do, though, is turn off the lights. Okay, so first of all, I'll give this a gentle stir. Get a little vortex going there. And then drop my UV dye in from the top. Doesn't look particularly spectacular until you turn your UV light on. And then you see these whirls spinning around there, absolutely beautiful. And what's happening is a little bit of quantum mechanics. So the The quinine, the molecules in the quinine, absorb a little bit of ultraviolet light, which is outside the visible spectrum. And it excites the molecule, but the molecule, an electron of the molecule has to spin back down because it gets very unstable. When it drops back down, it releases a little bit of energy as a photon of light. So suddenly, this is a transformation from ultraviolet light into the visible spectrum. So this is quantum mechanics, but it's drinkable. Now, this might be a little bit kind of bonkers for you, but if we make food absolutely fascinating for kids, we together could possibly change the world. I'm really looking forward to seeing everyone at Food Matters Live. I'm there for 3 days doing loads of different things. Some things like this, some things really important, some things very straight, and some things that just blow your mind.